Basically tonight, the reason I'm here is not just to speak for the mayor, but I'm basically here to represent the police department and give you any information that I can give you based on how this issue will affect the police department, the men and women that work for you. I also wanted to make sure I'm here really just to listen to what's being said and make sure that if there's any statements to make sure that there are any statements that I feel are untrue or not correct, basically. I don't want people to be misled. You know, there have been statements made that this whole issue is based on a scare tactic, trying to trick people into voting one way or another. And I want to make sure that I'm here to represent the city and make sure that people hear what's really going on and how it's going to affect you. The basic for me is not relative to how much money the city has or does not have. We all understand there's an issue with revenue into the city. It's just coming down to this fact right here could mean layoffs for the police department, and I'm only really talking about the police department tonight, and the effect that how it will affect you. It's common knowledge to know a few years ago, if you were in this city, if you know anything about the city, we were down as low as we ever had been. And that was 36 officers. Since then, we have been able to rehire people. We put people in different positions. We've been able to put people in different units. Those units are basically what's helping this city move forward in dealing with the crime rate. I'm not going to, throw a bunch of statistics at you tonight. I'm just going here to tell you the absolute truth and how it affects us. And any questions that you ask me, you guarantee that I will give you the truth. I'm not a politician. I don't try to be a politician. I'm speaking on behalf of myself and the police department. And any questions you have tonight, I really welcome. And as well as to debate anything Mr. McCoy has to say. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. That is Chief Spots speaking for the city now. Mr. McCoy, it's your turn for open statement.
My open statement is this. All across the country, in Cleveland, New York City, and all other places, they are rallying against Wall Street and bureaucrats who continue to want to go into the pockets of individuals like me and you. Now let me tell you this. The people who signed the petition have made it clear. They're tired of bailouts. They're tired of bailing out Wall Street. They're tired of bailing out the banks. They're tired of bailing out the city. It's time for somebody to bail us out. Those of us that have lost our homes through foreclosure, those of us that can't get enough gas in our car, those of us that can't get our medical bills straight because of bailouts. We're asking the question all across the country and overseas, when are we going to get the bailout? So I say to you that the city is asking us for another bailout. And I say to you that when the city asks for this bailout, and if you vote no, here's what's going to happen. Trust me, it always happens. In the next 6 months, the city will ask for another bailout. As a matter of fact, you think they got a lot of cameras here now? 19? They'll be asking for 5 more. There's never enough money for the city. as long as they can go in your pocket. That's what this is really about. Philosophically, if you keep giving city all the money out of your pocket, you won't have no money. Stevie Wonder made it clear when he said, just enough for the city. And that's what the city wants to do. They want to leave just enough for the city. But what about you? That's what this whole movement is about. Whether it's in Europe, whether it's in France, even in Israel, and in Cleveland, Ohio, and in East Cleveland. So a vote yes will tell the city of East Cleveland that we don't want no more bailouts. We're looking out for ourselves. We love safety. We love the city. But it's time for somebody to bail us out. So my suggestion to you, you have your own vote, but my suggestion to you is to vote yes. Yes, we want to get rid of those cameras, because if you don't, you trust me when I tell you this. There's 19 now, pretty soon there'll be 25. And pretty soon there'll be 30. It'll never stop until you're broke and the city got all your money. Stevie Wonder said, there's nothing but the city. Thank you so much.
Mr. McCoy, while you still have the mic, we're going to go with you this time. Why do you feel that the cameras should go? Could you tell the audience here why you feel the cameras should go and not stay?
If you start with a lie, my daddy, Norman McCoy, always told me, if you start with a lie, you're going to end with a lie. Now, you know how I've not always followed my daddy's rules, and sometimes I've got in trouble. But I tell you this, remember the war in Iraq? They started with a lie. And when they started with a lie, thousands of young men got killed. More thousands got wounded. Hundreds of thousands got killed in Iraq because they started with a lie that there was weapons of mass destruction. So I tell you that the city started wrong when they thought that they could fool us into thinking that this was all about safety. They started with a lie. Because many times, that's why I wanted my prop up here, because I was debating the mayor. And many times, we've asked the mayor, you all have asked the mayor, Mayor, is this about safety or is this about money? And 100 times, the mayor said, it's about safety. 100 times, the mayor said, it's about safety. 100 times, the police chief said, it's about safety. But all of a sudden now, in the plain deal, it said that you're ready to lay off 60, you're ready to lay off 68 people.
The time is up. You can deal with that later on.
You're ready to lay off 68 people.
Chief Spots, you said the cameras should stay. Could you tell us why the cameras should stay?
First of all, they're not 18 or 19 cameras. That's the first mistake you made. There are only 12. There are only 12 cameras. There's a big difference between 12 and 18. Second of all, this has nothing to do with Iraq, but I'll just move on to the question. When we talk about safety, if you remember when the cameras came in, it was, I think, 4 or 5 years ago. When it was said it was about safety, it was about safety. It was a call for safety. It was a call for the people to constantly complain about speeders through their streets. It calls the people complaining about speeding through their school zones. It was about safety. Now, since then, some other things have happened in this community. One being the loss of Huron Road Hospital. Another being the loss of about 15,000 residents in the past couple of years. So the revenue in the city has been cuts in the state funding to the city. Cuts going to be double this year from the state funding. So since then, it has become an issue where the city has lost a lot of revenue. Now, this amount of revenue is about to be taken away. So now it does become not only about safety, but it comes about revenue. It's the reality of what's really happening. It's not about anybody reaching in your pockets taking money. Nobody has asked you to do a levy. We needed a safety levy for the past 20 years. It has never come up that nobody's asked these citizens to do a safety levy. And nobody's asked you to raise your taxes. All we're doing right now is saying this don't cost anything. All we're saying now is to follow the law. There are laws in place here. The same laws that should be followed everywhere. It's not taking anything away from you if you follow the law. The problem is here is a lot of people that don't want to follow the law. There's a lot of people here that don't want to be able to do whatever they can. They don't want the police to see them. They don't want cameras to see them. They don't want nobody to see them. They want it to go back like it was a few years ago, and we don't want that. So when we say it's about safety, it's about safety.
Mr. Scott, hold the phone. You have the mic. Do you feel that the police department and other safety is predicated on the monies that are generated from the cameras?
No. Again, it's the matter of the money that's generated from the cameras goes strictly into the general fund. The general fund is what pays everything in the city. It pays the salary of all the employees, it pays all the bills, it pays all the expenses. So the money is not for the police department per se. The money is all just put into the general fund, just like tax-based money is put into the general fund, which we lost a lot of the tax base.
Just to follow up on that question, do you feel that if the cameras stay, will there be any layoffs as a result of that? Excuse me, I only have one person up here answer the question. So your turn will come.
The question is, if the cameras stay,
will there be any layoffs?
Okay, I'm not the mayor. I'm not the city council. I'm not the finance director. I don't make those decisions. If it was up to me, it wouldn't be any layoff, especially in the police department. The object right now, the way it seems on paper, is no, there will not be. And that's all I can say.
The double question was because he was still within his time frame. Now to you, Mr. McCoy.
Could I have a follow-up on the chief's answers? Let's deal with the ATS for a moment. The cameras that come way across country somewhere, okay? Do you realize that those cameras, ATS, is holding this city hostage? Do you realize that the camera people way across town somewhere, suburbanites, tell this city that, look, you owe us over $1 million. You pay that $1 million. We put up cameras the way we want to put them up. And we take all the money until you pay us. And on top of that, it's in the record, on top of that, what ATS says is out. Because you know now that the city council, the city has listen, you gave him...
Excuse me.
Okay, all right, let me finish my point of thought. You know that ATS has sued the city because you know there's a collection agency now that the city has passed. So they're coming after those tickets, those of us that haven't paid. So therefore, the ATS has sued the city saying that they want that money and the money that they're getting. So my question is right here with the law. My question is right here. If
answer that under your question. You're going into another whole new subject. You was rebating what he...
You gave him two questions.
I understand that. That was the rebuttal. We're going to give you 30 minutes in the rebuttal. Okay? 30 seconds. I'm sorry. 30 seconds in the rebuttal. Not a minute, not 2 minutes. So you've done your rebuttal. So now the question to you. Why we asked a question to the chief in reference to the cameras, if they stay, would there be any police laid off? So are you saying that if the cameras are removed, will there be layoffs, or will there not be layoffs? Do you feel that? Let me ask the question, sir. Do you feel that this is the only stream of revenue that the city has that are paying their employees? So that's the question.
I am saying to you that how many times during election time, during levies, during issues, have they used the police department? Oh, if you don't go in your pocket for more money, we're going to lay off all the police. If you don't go in your pocket for more money, we ain't going to have no school. If you don't go in your pocket for no money, we ain't going to be able to do it. How many times have you heard that? How many times are you going to be tricked by that? Listen, the city is 100 years old. The city is not going to, the sky is not going to fall down if you vote yes on this levy. The sky is not going to fall down. And on top of that, the bad thing about why people are against the camera, they say that's violating the law. Let me tell you something. If you hit a white line, click, you got a ticket. If you go to turn right on red, if you don't count 30 seconds, click, you got a ticket. If you're going through the green light and all of a sudden it turns yellow and then back red, click, you got a ticket. So I'm saying to you, it's not about violating the law, it's the way they got these cameras set up, and the trick of the law can always trap you. So don't pay no attention to that. Or if you drive right, you won't get a ticket, because I guarantee you right now, over half of you all in that audience got tickets, and I bet you were driving right, and I bet it was about safety. So don't go for that. Don't go for it.
Chief, do you have a rebuttal?
Are we supposed to be answering the questions that you asked? Is he going to have to answer the questions that you asked? Because he ain't answered one yet. I'm just saying. I didn't know if the rules changed or not. So you want me to rebuttal what he just said? I'll say this. And basically, with no disrespect to anybody in here, and I've been hearing this a few times, everybody says how the cameras are tricking people. There is no trick. First of all, there are laws that a lot of people have seemed to forgot from when you took driver's ed however many years ago. One is, when you approach a red light, you have to stop. Before you turn right on red, you have to come to a complete stop. There is a white line in the middle of the street. And I went and looked at every camera, because people saying the lines aren't visible. The lines are visible. It's a white line, and you should know that you're supposed to stop before that line. Now, what we did, because so many people continue to pass the line and stop, as soon as you cross that white line, it's a sensor in the middle of that line that will immediately activate that camera to take your picture. So what happens is, a lot of people pass the line, they take the picture, and you don't realize that if you stop, you're not going to be cited, because the officer that views these at the police department and the person that views them in the company in Arizona sees that you did stop, and they do not issue that citation. Even if it was a citation in error, you come up to the police department and you challenge it in the courtroom, and you usually win because it's on video.
Okay, your 30 seconds up. Long 30 seconds. But anyway, now the next question would be dealing somewhat similar to the question that you asked, and that is this. How often are those cameras checked for their accuracy? And you did say something about the big line, which is the bar. You should stop either behind that line or should you cross the line. Tell us what happened.
Again, it's not something new with the cameras. It's the law. The traffic law is you have to stop behind the white line before you turn right on red. As far as the red lights are concerned, when you're going straight, it's just like any other camera. If you go through a yellow light, if you're not through that yellow light before it turns red, you will be cited. In this situation, it doesn't activate until you're past, under the light. So that means you've already went through the light. It's not a situation of the light being green and they snapping your picture and then you running through a red light. That's impossible. The biggest point I'm trying to make is when people hear these rumors that the cameras are rigged, they're flashing all the time. I still haven't seen the person that can show me that happened to them. I have yet to see the person that can show me the ticket, the citation that was done in error and they were made to pay for it. So when people in a forum like this hear somebody say, well, all the camera is rigged, they're taking everybody's picture, everything's illegal, everything's wrong, click, 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 like he just said. But yet nobody can stand up and show that happened to them.